Shares of Dine Brands Global falling just about 6% today after the parent company of Applebee's and IHOP reported a fourth quarter earnings beat, but revenue and same-store sales missed Wall Street expectations. Let's break down the quarter and what we're seeing from the consumer with Dine Brands CEO John Peyton, and Brian Sozzi is here with us. We've talked a lot about Sozzi. It's nice to, we've been quoting you
I
so
swear
often
I live.
in this
It's not, I'm not AI, buddy.
John, good to see you, sir.
As well, in the green room, I heard 8 references to Sozzi,
Right?
but you don't see him.
I'll talk pancakes.
There's just references to him now.
We're forced now to mention him X amount of times per show.
Part of the new contract.
What'd you learn in the quarter, John?
What we learned in the quarter is that our guests and Americans dining out are still looking for experiences, Dave. And so we've seen a lot of the reporting about durable goods. People are not spending necessarily on new pillows or curtains or a new sofa, but the psychological COVID hangover about getting out with friends and family. Restaurants, bars, hotels, cruise ships are doing really well, and both of our brands and our new one, Fuzzy Taco Shop, which you'll ask me about, I hope.
We will.
Further in.
We'll talk tacos.
But both those brands, Applebee's and IHOP, are both value-oriented brands and have spent years building trust with their guests there. And so they performed well, as you could see, with 8 quarters of consecutive comp sales growth for Applebee's and 7 for IHOP.
John, one thing I think I've taken away from this earnings season is that middle America and low-income America is hurting. They've really been hurt by inflation. What are you seeing from some of your restaurants, IHOP and Applebee's in middle America? How are these consumers spending?
Yeah, and that's our focus, right? That's our customer. The 75% of our guests earn less than $75,000 a year, so that is our sweet spot. And what impressed us last year and probably surprised us right throughout the year was the durability and the consistency. So our traffic remained fairly consistent throughout the entire year. Both brands, as we said, post positive comp sales of 5.1 or 5.2 for Applebee's and 5.8 for IHOP year over year. But what we did see is that the guests were managing their average check because they know our menu really well and how to navigate it. So at a time when we were raising price, when our franchisees were raising prices, Brian, they managed to keep the average check steady throughout the year by finding those value-oriented portions of our menu where you can get 2 entrees for the price of X and those sort of things.
So value seekers seeking out your restaurants, do you think they're trading down from a more expensive experience? Let's just say Buffalo Wild Wings. Do you see a consumer that's trading down to an Applebee's and an IHOP?
It's hard to get really specific data on that in our industry, but our sense is that we gained some new customers, and we probably had some of our customers dine with us a little bit less during the year. But all in all, when you look at the comp sales, particularly for the fourth quarter, we were pleased by how steady it was.
It was interesting to see the number as consumers spent at restaurants and bars up 7.2% in January, most since March of 21. How much is due to inflation, in particular food inflation at the grocery store, driving people to go out?
It is true, right? The cost of food and the cost of restaurant prices has risen slower than groceries. I have a personal theory that I don't think that grocery prices are particularly relevant to restaurant prices, because I don't think consumers make a trade-off between a hamburger at a restaurant or a hamburger at home. If they want to eat inexpensively at home, they can have peanut butter and jelly, right? Or they can have a can of tuna fish. So it's really a choice about what changed at COVID is not what you want to eat, it's when and how you want to eat it, right? And so now people say, before they say I want to have a burger, they say, do I want to eat home? Do I want to eat at a restaurant? Do I want to take out? Do I want to have it delivered? And then when they figure out that, then they say, am I having a burger? Am I having a milkshake? Am I having a pizza? And so we've learned to play in all of those areas because the way in which people make their decisions has changed.
IHOP is just not the destination for pancakes. It's also for eggs. And eggflation has been one of the hottest topics here on Yahoo Finance the past year. How have you managed that? Are you serving omelets with one less egg? How are you dealing with this from a supply chain perspective?
So in terms of reducing our portion sizes, never ever.
So still the same amount of eggs in an omelet?
Still a 3-egg omelet.
Okay, well, how do you pull that off and keep your margins intact?
All right, so let's go backwards to go forward. So first half of last year, inflation of cost of goods into our restaurants, the franchisees' restaurants, was low 20s for both Applebee's and for IHOP. By the fourth quarter, Applebee's was 12% inflation. IHOP was still 19.5, so barely declined because of eggs and also wheat, because of the war and pressure on wheat. When you look at how our franchisees raised prices last year, they raised them 7% or so at Applebee's, 10% at IHOP. So we like what they did strategically in that they took about half the cost of inflation in terms of price, and we thought that was responsible and prudent management of their margins, protecting their margins, but also not pricing themselves out of this value, relationship we have with our customers.
All right, from IHOP to tacos, and there is a segue there because pancake tacos are not bad. I don't know if you guys have ever had them.
Pancake tacos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'll show you later.
I hear Sean in the background.
So you may be onto something.
You may have to have a collab,
I may have,
as they call it.
I may have sampled pancake tacos in our test kitchen.
See?
Okay.
All right, so Fuzzies, is it in that Chipotle category for those unfamiliar, and how significant do you expect it to be driving growth?
Yeah, so what I love about, what we all love about Fuzzies is that it's really not in the Chipotle category. So Fuzzies is all about the experience. So when you go into a Fuzzies, it's a place that invites you in and you want to stay. So for example, you're surrounded by huge large screen TVs, great music, really fun design. Every restaurant is built around a bar with really Instagrammable drinks, margaritas that have beer bottles in them. And unlike some of the competitors, you eat on a plate with utensils. So it's a place where you get to the experience of really someplace you want to stay and where you feel welcome to want to stay. So it's a big addition for us.
It's fast casual.
It's fast casual, and it's a great economic model for the franchisees, Dave, because while there's back of house staff, you serve yourself, but you're served on real plates.
No one we can walk to, is there?
How many of these will you have over the next couple of years?
Our goal is to have many more than we currently have. So I know up here in New York, you may not know the brand well. There's 140 of them. They started in Texas, and they've been growing, sort of north from there. We love the brand because we think it's got great potential to go east. I can't get my directions right on TV. East, west, and north.
We're close.
There's 125 in the pipeline that'll open the next couple of years, and a big part of our investment thesis is when you plug in Fuzzies to our engine, we can really accelerate their growth, and that was our plan.
Is there one within walking distance?
Of here?
Yeah.
No.
Look out, Taco Bell.
But when you're in Dallas or Denver, take a look for it.
Okay, I'm from Denver. I'll be there soon. John Peyton, Dine Brands CEO. Good to have you, sir. Brian Sozzi, always a pleasure.